Hello, and welcome to Basically Complicated. We are your hosts, and we're really glad you can join us again for another podcast. So today, we're kind of leaving it open-ended to a lot of different directions. We're going to be talking about customer service. So the best or worst customer service you have either received or given. So I am opening the floor. I do not need to start.
The floor is open.
The floor is yours.
I truly don't have bad customer service experiences.
That's
I don't
awesome.
even know if I have good customer services. I don't think anything is
You've just
like,
had experiences.
I've just had customer service experiences. I get really uncomfortable / like actually angry at people who complain at restaurants, especially if I'm in the party. Like if it's someone that I know that's like, I need to see a manager, and I'm really like, do you really need to though, you privileged jerk? Like it makes me really upset. Sure. It's like not necessarily in like you have hair in your food and then like I get that, swap it out. There's some things that like if it's in my food, I won't eat it, and I did pay for it, and I would like to have it, or like I did say explicitly like no beans because beans gross me out. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't want to eat beans because they taste gritty and gross, and so I feel that way about potatoes, and I don't think meat should be sweet. Orange chicken is ridiculous. Just eat an orange. But like with all of those things, like I get swapping food out, but like people who make a scene make me like actually. I don't get upset about a lot of things, but I get mad. Yeah, because I hate it. I hate it so much. Yeah. And so there's only been a few occasions where someone has just been like outright rude to a waiter or a waitress, and I just was like, I will not eat with you again. Yeah. I will not do it. Yeah. It just makes me really angry.
I think being rude is the line for me. I had a friend one time who got a meal, and like she was just like you. She's like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna do anything. Yeah. And she was like, got pork, and it was so salty that you like couldn't even eat it. And I was like, they've done something wrong. She's like, I don't know. And I was like, you need to say something. Like they want to make it better for you. They don't want you to hate your meal. So I feel like it's like I don't know.
Yeah, it's
but there's a way about not being a jerk about it too.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the hard thing with food service is I'm the same way where I'm very picky about many things, and I expect the best customer service wherever I go.
Us.
Yes, but I don't like doing it at restaurants because usually it's not the waiter's fault, and so I don't like it when people like pick on the waiter to be like, my food's bad. This is your like. It's not their fault. Right. They're just taking from the kitchen what they're given. Right. So there's a way of addressing it that's not coming across as
terrible,
entitled.
Yeah, and I've like witnessed. I witnessed something this past Sunday where like my friend was in line to get food at this like you would order food and then come and sit down. It was like a cafe-ish area, and like this gentleman like shoved in front of her while she was ordering and like yelled and reamed out the person and said, "This is not what I ordered," and like terribly and like I remember like my friend was just like, I don't know what to do, and like the guy was a jerk about it, and just was yelling at this poor kid who like, and it probably I think it actually was like he gave the wrong thing, but it was just like, whoa, there's no need, there's absolutely no need, and you're just a butthole. Yeah, it drives me crazy. So like when it comes to customer service stuff, like I that's probably why I haven't had any experiences because I don't. Yeah. I just don't care enough to like record them in my memory as something that's like, this is a travesty. Like I don't go to a restaurant and then have bad customer service and be like, I'm never eating here again. That was absurd. Like I know people that do, and I'm like, but that like that's ridiculous to me. There are places that like I haven't enjoyed the food, so like I don't really care to go there, but that's a totally different scenario altogether. Yeah. And like there's some things like I don't like tomatoes, so I asked to take tomatoes off, but you know what I can do? And I take care of the issue. Like you just
well, it's also
plop the tomato on the table and don't touch it.
Part of it is also like setting the expectation of where you are. Like I get if you're going to a 5-star restaurant, you would expect pretty good customer service. If I'm going to Applebee's, like I'm not expecting them to roll out the red carpet. Like it's Applebee's or
Steak
it's Texas
and Shake,
Roadhouse.
If you're spending $4, it's not going to be the best thing you've ever had.
Yeah, like you should. There's never at any point where you should be a person that's in an IHOP. Complaining about the customer service that you get because, like, let's be real about where you're at in life. Like, if that's where you're eating, that's fine. But let's be real.
You don't deserve more.
Let's set the expectations realistically about where we're at.
Right, that's exactly right.
Yeah. That's fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have wait, I don't want to cut you off.
No, totally cut me off. Just chop it.
Chop with a knife. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna stop bringing up knives.
No, we don't.
Okay, so
we always bring them up.
Sephora has the best customer service. Like, they are so friendly in their Sephora. It's a makeup
Sephora.
Sephora.
So it's Sephora's first.
I think I said Sephora. Anyways,
I thought you said Sophora.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's Sephora?
You said it in an
Maybe,
accent, and
yeah.
I don't know what accent exactly, but an accent.
I said it weird for sure.
Sephora. Great customer service.
Sephora, yes, great customer service. So one time I went to the one in Ann Arbor or somewhere, and she was like helping me pick stuff out, and she was being so patient because I was like, I have questions about these and these and these, and she was just so nice, and I was like, wow, she's just really being so like patient with me. So I was like, I'm words of affirmation, and I was like, hey, Sandy. Her name was not Sandy, but I was like, I just want to let you know, I was like, you've been so helpful. Like, thank you so much for being so patient with me. I know I've had so many questions. She gave me samples of stuff, which I love. I'm nice to people at Sephora so that they will give me samples.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they do.
You gotta play the system, man.
I do. Even my friends are like, how does it work like that for you? So anyways, she goes back into the back, comes out, my friend is with me, and she has 2 boxes of makeup, Bare Minerals, like, kits. And she's like, you guys, she's like, honestly, your words just, like, made my day. She's like, it means so much to me that you would say that. She's like, thank you so much. I start crying. She starts crying.
Holy
tears in the store. And she hands me the thing, and I'm like, what? And it had like lipstick in it and a blush and an eyeshadow and then maybe something else. And I was like, this is like nice. Are you sure?
What's the monetary value on that?
Yeah, tell me, what is Bare Minerals?
It was all minis, but it's a nice
it's a good brand.
Okay.
Maybe
But like
$30?
like $20?
maybe 30, I would say.
Okay.
30.
Because they're sample sizes, yeah?
Yeah, they're sample sizes, but like
still, but
It's
a
like
lot of
getting
samples.
Yeah, it's like getting a
for
pretty
sure.
good free entree at a nice restaurant. So.
oh yeah, that doesn't happen. Like they don't give
No,
out
it
like
definitely
kits
doesn't.
like
No.
that. And I was like, wow, thank you so much. And she's like, if you want
But
to
you were
fill out
also
this...
crying, so you're like, wow,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah, I took it straight to the internet, and I was like, this is what happened to me at Sephora. It was beautiful. There was tears, and it was...
Here's the real question.
Yes.
Did you end up buying anything?
I probably did. I don't know. I think I did. But the fact that my friend...
But if you didn't and you walked out of the store,
Yeah.
she was like, that's...
That's Snake.
The fact that my friend got something, too, when, like, she was just kind of, like, you know, with me as I'm perusing or whatever, I was like, that
That's very
is just a
thoughtful of her.
lot of great... Yeah, and, like, I'm still telling that story 6 years later, so...
Way to be,
Sephora.
Yeah, win. Okay.
Get all my money.
This does bring up memories for me.
Yes.
So I guess I do have some interactions with people that were like really positive, and I recently purchased a mattress. I've talked about this a lot. I'm sorry. I recently purchased a mattress, and I went to Art Van Furniture, which is just a big furniture store. And I went to actually a couple of them to check out some of the, because it was a relatively like name brand mattress. So then like I was looking, and then I went to a different place to look because it was closer, just where I was. And then that salesman was terrible in comparison to the first one that I went to.
Yeah.
I feel like it worked. So I actually drove like farther away to like that one to specifically buy from that person because it was like, I feel like you deserve my business because you really sold this to me.
Yeah.
So I came and found you because I feel like commission is...
I will gladly inconvenience myself
Yes.
to get better customer service.
That makes sense to me. That was probably
competing
the first
products.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you have.
Probably the first time.
Yeah, and I do often.
The other story that I could think of is that I, freshly out of college and like off of my parents' car insurance and was dealing with car stuff essentially for the first time in my entire life, such as like buying one and having one, and it's so hard. And I called State Farm and like was trying to figure out, and I was like, I don't have money, like I don't have a big job, like this isn't something that, you know, like I need bare minimum, like I really can't do anymore. And she was like, okay, well, and I remember the lady on the phone was just like started to explain all the things like deductibles and like premiums, and I don't think I was close to crying because I was already stressed out about having to do this because I didn't have money. But I was like, can I stop you? And she's like, okay. And I remember this on the phone. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because I had never learned this stuff. She was like, oh, is this like the first time you've ever? And I was like, yes. So she ended up like coaching me through like what everything meant,
that's
which
awesome.
I know they're supposed to do that, but it was one of those things where I was like, is that actually good? Like it was asking her questions like, is this fair?
That's awesome.
And I know that they're supposed to. She was like, yeah, it's relatively fair. Like there's, of course there's better, but I'm like was being very honest with me because I was like, I really don't know what a deductible is. I've never like.
No one teaches you that.
No one teaches you
Yeah.
that, and that drives me crazy because,
Same.
like, I get having to know taxes but you can just do TurboTax. But
Right.
like, I don't know what a deductible is. I didn't know what a premium
Right.
was. I didn't know what a good deal was.
Everything with insurance is never explained.
No,
Right.
never.
Health insurance, car
Yeah,
insurance,
and loans,
nothing.
like loans in general, because like I don't know what a good interest rate is. I had no idea.
Right.
Like, and credit cards, like I had no idea what APR meant. Like,
No.
absolutely no idea.
Oh, no.
So I literally just needed. Like, I remember that being like, okay, I can ask people these questions,
Yeah.
and they will actually
Yeah.
like walk them through because
Yeah.
they won't explain it to you.
Yeah.
But I remember that moment of just being like,
Thanks, Patricia.
You know, she had such a nice voice. She was,
Well,
and he was
that's
like
it, too,
Patty or
like-
something like that.
Yeah, tone really
Yeah.
matters with customer
Yeah.
service because you can say the exact same thing but be a real jerk about it,
Yes.
or be like
Yeah.
very kind and caring,
Yes.
without being patronizing.
Yeah, or like, wow, you are dumb. Okay, here's a deductible. Like, because people can
Yeah.
and have like done that before, but the fact that she was even being honest and not just trying to be salesman-y
Yeah.
was the thing that I was like, thank you, I will take your business because I just needed to know what was good.
Yeah.
So thank you, State Farm, for that. Thank you. I am now done.
I think like when it comes to customer service, like I do better if I'm working on behalf of someone, but when it affects me personally, I get really emotional. And so I'm very thankful to have a spouse who can take care of it. I mean, he's very good and challenges me to take care of some things like.
Forgive me.
on
So
my
what
own,
what
but-
did you mean by that? You get really like, so like if something bad happens to you, you take it very personally? Yep.
Yeah.
She
But
nodded her
like
yes.
if I was like helping someone else and like calling on their behalf, much more level-headed and calm and like can think through
Okay.
it. But when it like affects me personally, I just get really emotional.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just got used to so like growing up, I was probably a little older, like young teenage years. Two of my brothers were in college. One of my other brothers was kind of like in high school-ish, hanging out with people. So there was a period where I, like in our household, I handled the customer service calls. Like if the internet went down, I called AT&T because my mom will still like my mom. I love you. She's just not good on the phone with customer service people. And like, she doesn't like doing it. They don't like doing it with her. So I just became the one where she would just like hand me the phone. So like, I just got so used to having those types of conversations with people. Like, why is our internet slow?
When
We're
did
paying
that
for this.
happen for you? Like, when did you figure that out?
He's like 10.
He's very good at it too.
Like, when did I start doing that?
Right.
Probably
Like-
like 13, 12 or 13.
Yeah. Do you guys, this brings up a good point. Do you guys remember the first time you went through a drive-thru by yourself?
No.
It wasn't like
No.
like I can't call back that moment.
Because I remember it was like, what do I do? Or like calling for pizza. Like,
Yeah.
and you being the person to do it. Like, I mean, like those
Yeah.
moments are like, you were the
Yeah.
person, because it was always done for me.
Yeah.
I
So I remember
remember
the drive-thru being like, now what do I do? Hello!
Like my-
Greetings to you!
I remember going to get gas for the first time.
Yeah.
And I remember
By yourself.
I don't know if I just take it,
Yeah.
and they know that we come back and we'll pay later. Like it
Absolutely.
was such a foreign concept because like I just never.
Yeah.
My
Think
dad
about
was
it.
never like,
Right.
"Hey, come pump gas with me." Like,
Right.
we just
Right. You just don't
never
even
did
think
that.
about
So I
it.
remember being there the first time, and like I remember walking into the gas station, being like, "Hey, what do you?
What's our interaction?
How do we do this? How do I get that stuff in that thing?"
Which huge shout out to our sister-in-law Sarah. So our two oldest nephews are what 9 and 10, 10, 11. They're
are
like
the words you
hovering.
said.
They're hovering around 10. And I remember we went.
I love that. They're hovering around Jen.
But I love it because we went to, whenever we visit home, we go to Chick-fil-A, which, by the way, has the best customer service across the board. But I remember we went to Chick-fil-A and the boys really wanted ice cream, or there was like a treat that they wanted. And so Sarah gave them, like, she knew it would be enough cash to cover it. And she's like, okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go up to the register, by yourself. Like, they went together, the two boys did. But she, like, gave him cash, and she's like, you're going to practice your money, and you're going to have to be very clear when you tell him your order, and then you give him the money, and then you can bring back, you're going to order for you and your brother. And so, and I was so, like, I was like, that's a mom win. Well, and she's like, I will be right here. Like, I can see you from here, from the back of the store.
That's cool.
But, and you could tell he was so nervous. He was so nervous to do it and kept, like, looking back. And she's like, you got it. And he was so proud when he came back. But I was like, I don't remember the first time I did that.
No.
Yeah.
Like, ordering for myself or, like, paying, like, exchanging money for something. I don't remember. So, Sarah, you're awesome. Way to be.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that either. I remember a couple of things. Like, I remember my mother teaching me how to do laundry, which was really good because she was like, and now you will do it yourself. I was like, okay. And I was like 11, and I was like, okay, I figure it out. But I don't know if I think I just went into the store and here's money for this.
You take this,
right? Thank you now.
I claimed for the longest time. I was like, I don't know how the dishwasher works. Like, what do you do with it? Like, what?
This
and my mom was like, like I was old enough to know. She's like, you put the soap in the thing. And I was like, where? There's 2 compartments.
There's too many things to push.
I
just
still
throw it in there.
felt that. I'm like, why are there 2 areas?
Sure, that makes sense to me.
Thank you.
There's just certain adulting things that you do, like the embarrassing adulting moment for us.
I was wondering if this was
probably for 4 years. We were doing laundry, not with laundry detergent, but with fabric softener.
Oh no!
Exclusively,
have done that
exclusively for years.
I just caught it the first time
until
it smelled so good.
I'm sure it did. Snuggle.
It also had just like poop on it because nothing was.
Well, like we got to the point where
it was like spraying it with Febreze.
But I was a hall director at the time, so I just thought it was like the washer and dryer.
But like it got to the point where it wasn't our clothes that were going bad, but our towels were very quickly. Like we had to replace our towels like every 8 months. It was like, what the heck is going on?
It was 8 months.
Oh no,
4 years.
For
4 years.
Like, we're talking about this ended, like, 2 years ago, right?
Literally, like, probably when we moved here.
And
because we had to buy... Because we were, like, in Meijer, and we couldn't find the fabric softener that we couldn't find the detergent that we normally bought. So we were looking around, and I remember, like, finding where it would normally be, and I remember, like, I looked up, and it kind of says, like, detergent, fabric softener, and I was like, huh.
And we were together, like, at the store
and I remember,
at the same time.
I, like, pulled it down, I was like... Is there a difference between detergent and fabric softener? Like, is fabric softener like the upper level, like the premier detergent?
Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to time travel, and I'm gonna go to that moment, and I'm just gonna watch it.
And I remember, like, it slowly processed, and as soon as that realization, like, because then you're thinking, I've been doing this for 4 years.
Man,
we use real soap now,
that's
by
just
the way.
a little sprinkle you put on your clothes.
Oh no!
You fill the cap, you pour it in.
Yeah, nope, that's not what
you shut the door, let it go to work.
Our clothes smelled
They smell so... They were super soft.
They do. Fabric softener is wonderful.
In small bursts. Every now and then.
Oh.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where you look back and you're like, thank you, Lord, for humbling me. I needed that.
This baby.
Yeah.
Adulting
I just went by smell. It smelled so good.
It is.
It's like, I want my clothes to smell like this.
Yeah. To circle back to customer service, I think the best customer service experience I consistently have is with Amazon. Amazon has the best customer service, period. They're so good at what they do.
Really?
Because they, no matter, even if your problem is like minuscule, they just reward you. So they basically, like, their whole philosophy is it's just faster and cheaper to just appease the customer. So even if, like, so I pay for Amazon Prime, you pay for 2-day shipping if it comes a day late. Or even if it comes, like, technically on time, but because of the way the days have kind of worked, it kind of seems like it's a day late, I'll just chat with them and say, like, hey, I ordered this, it was 2-day shipping, it came in 3 days. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry about that, here's a $5 credit. Like, all the time. Just their instant response is that it's easier and cheaper to just deal with the customer that way than to, like, haggle and go back and forth.
But, like, normal people would not I'm gonna classify myself as a normal person. Would not be like, this came a day late. I'm not normal. I get it. I wouldn't be like, I'm going to message them. Like, you get so many deals because you're like,
yeah, you actually like write the letters.
Yeah,
that's what it's there for.
You have this,
but like,
but he's not a jerk about it.
And even outside of like me taking advantage of the system, like there's times where. Like, I remember there was a time where I needed to order AA batteries. So I ordered rechargeable AA batteries. 2 days later, I get a package. I open it. It's AAA batteries.
Right.
So I emailed them and it just said, hey, not a huge deal. I ordered AA batteries, though. I do actually need those. And they were like, oh, we're so sorry. Keep those. We'll send AA batteries.
Yeah.
2 days later, package arrives. Open it. AAA batteries again. It's like, hey, not a big deal. But I got AAA batteries again. I do actually need AA batteries. I'm like, oh, we're so sorry. Keep those. We're going to send AA batteries, and we're going to refund you. So this is all free, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. And I was like,
okay,
great. That's awesome. Because I have been inconvenienced because I needed these batteries 2 days ago. But now you've solved the problem for me, and now I like you more.
Well,
so,
and they kept your business. Like,
it has taught me to do that more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Because there's a way of doing it where you're not a jerk, where you're like, hey, I ordered this, and these are AA batteries that I can't get anywhere else.
Which I feel like is what people do.
Yeah, there's a way of just saying, like, hey, I bought AA batteries, AAA batteries came, like, can we fix that?
Yeah.
So.
Do you remember when we tried to talk to the car guy about my car, and it was like, if there's a male voice, it'll go better. Like, I just assumed like that when they talk to a woman like about a car, they're like,
well, that is the
Miss, it's 10 grand, and there's no other way. Like,
you need to buy a new car.
Yeah,
it's dead.
Yeah,
Your car is
dead. Is the unfortunate reality is that does happen sometimes.
Yeah. But even then, actually, I don't feel like they were good, even when...
They were jerks. Yeah. I've had more poor customer service experience with car people in general than with any other industry.
That would be a whole nother...
Which is funny because I have not. I've actually had really good experiences with car people.
You were very fortunate.
I am very fortunate. I also, I was told at a young age... I don't remember who told me this. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. I was just getting excited. To shame the dealer I bought my car from. But go. Sorry, too much.
Yeah, I've had really good car experiences, actually. Yeah. Like, I was told at a young age that... when you get older, there are two friends you need to have all the time, and it is a hairdresser and a mechanic. You need to have those two friends available to you at all times, so that way the hairdresser you can go to all the time, you can talk to them, you can work with them, you know them, it's a good relationship, whatever. Mechanic, someone that you know that can help you out every once in a while, that'll be able to look at things if it's preliminary and tell you if you need to do more or whatever it is. Like, you just need someone who's good at both of those things. So I just have, like, people be a mechanic, and I'd be like, hello. My name is Evan, and I want to be your friend.
I need to keep you in my life.
Buy you a drink. I like that. I have always done that. But even in, like, times that were just really random. So at the place that I live right now, there is a mechanic shop that I found out was directly across the street. And I went to them once when I was having car issues, and they were like, I'm going to be really frank with you. This car is not doing very well. They like did an inspection or whatever, and so then I was like, that really stinks. And they're like, it does. Like, we're really sorry about that, and like, we know you're gonna have to purchase a new car, totally free. Like, they just like,
that's awesome.
We're like, yeah, we're totally free, and it was across the street, so I literally like dropped off my car and walked back, and then I would just waited for them, so that way I didn't have to sit and wait. Yeah. Because if you're single and you don't have a car, like, there's nothing you can do in society, pretty much. Yeah. I remember that, and I was like, hey, cool. So then I would bring. I would try cars out, and I actually, like, it was like, you could test drive this for a little bit. I would test drive, and I actually took it right there to have them inspect it. Because they did it really quickly, and they said, like, bring cars that you want us to inspect if you're, like, thinking about buying it. And I was like, okay. And so I took it there, and they would be like, no, yes.
That's
like,
so
it was
smart.
like,
done that with that red car.
And each one of the times, I think I only paid for one of the inspections. Like, I think they're like, we'll just give you one, and, like, the other ones are good. And then it goes for the car that was good. And I was just like, I don't know how to thank you for like doing this for me. Like, I just kept, and I will go to them. I have given them my business many times of just like all the things because it's very convenient. But like, that's it. When I got my new car, it was from a dealer, a Chevy dealer, because I got a Chevy Cruze, and it was a 2014. I found it online at Car Gurus, and it was like a super cheap price. And I went to this dealer and basically was like, so it was like the next day I went to him, set up an appointment. And he was like, so I only sell trucks usually because we're Chevy. And he's like, I got this, like, that has 22,000 miles on it. It's a 2014 Chevy Cruze. This is very recent. And he was like, it's a great car, and I lowered the price a lot because I'm honestly just trying to get rid of it. And he was like, "Do you want to test drive it?" And I was like, "Sure." He's like, "You have a loan you already pre-approved?" And I'm like, "I do." And so then I drove it around, and I was like, "Listen to me." I came back and I was like, "Listen, if there's anything wrong with this car, just tell me. Like, I will be more likely to buy this car if you are honest with me and tell me that there are things wrong." And he was like, "I promise you, there is nothing wrong with this car. It is just a new car that I got that an old lady didn't want anymore." He's like, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yes." Yes, I got it that day, and he took care of everything, and I took it off a lot. Like,
nice.
It was just that, quick and instant.
The Lord's protection on you.
For real. And then, I did have one issue, the battery died suddenly, which I think is a thing that just happens sometimes with batteries, and I took it to that mechanic shop, and I'm like, not that much money to replace a new battery. Yeah. I've had very good luck with cars.
I'm happy for you.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just kidding. I am. That's good.
I just feel like you need a mechanic friend then. You need someone that can look at cars. It's really handy.
I thought I did.
I thought I had friends.
Chaz. No.
Chaz.
No, it's not important.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell my story. I don't need to shame this business. On another podcast,
You already
I
praised
will.
Sephora and cried in the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, we can end it on Sephora.
Yeah.
Good job, Sephora.
I appreciate you.
Anyways.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.